today.
I didn't ask that
Can
question.
you join me in the pledge? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome all of our guests here today. Is there any public comment? Okay, Adam, why don't we hear from you first?
Monthly reports in front of you. Everything is still pretty much in line. Numbers are still pretty far up from last year. All our times, basically everything. I don't expect, there's nothing in there that I didn't expect, so everything still falls within standards. Our PR events are going to be kicking up now. The weather's getting nicer, so those numbers will increase. Past couple weeks have been, we've seen a lot of critical patients. There's no rhyme or reason behind that, just kind of comes in spurts. We had our IDPH and Carl inspection this past week, passed everything in flying colors, no issues, so all the trucks are fully licensed for another year. I didn't anticipate any issues, but that inspection is complete. Really nothing else to report unless you guys have questions for me.
Did we get the final units out to who needed them?
I have not got the one here or the one to, where's the public defender need to go? Is he in place yet?
Yeah, he's in the cash's office.
Okay, and that's, you guys still want one there, is that correct?
Well,
If you got it, you might as well do something with it.
does anybody object to us putting one in there? And your follow-up with everybody so they're trained to use
Yep,
it?
so everyone that has an AD right now has been trained on it, so I can get those last two out and get the training done that's necessary by the end of the week.
Okay. Unless somebody objects, we'd appreciate it. Thank you,
Not a
Adam.
problem.
Anybody else have any questions?
You don't have the other sheet?
Sorry, that, I was trying to pull that report and it would not generate. If that's something you want, I'll see if I can have it by Wednesday for you, just to.
If fine, if not, next month, be fine.
That's fine. But, again, that page wasn't too abnormal, or too different from normal, so.
Right, yeah.
Patient always still, has their preference on where to go. Not always able to accommodate, but I'd say 99% of the time we are.
So they're not as restrictive like it used to be a year or two
No,
ago?
hospitals have kind of opened up. We're getting a lot better, or it's a lot easier to transfer patients, and less hospitals are on diversion than they used to. So.
Jeremy, do you have anything?
Yeah, I sent it to Augie, the report. I assume he got it to you guys, but I didn't print any off, so.
It's in your packet.
Oh, okay.
So, February we were busy and March we weren't, so. But all our times are still pretty good, so. We do have an auto pulse on order. It should be here in about a month, so. So there'll be something in the north end of the county as well, so. Other than that.
Any questions of Jeremy?
Have you seen any difference, I look at the Christmas leader, but not closely. Have you seen any difference in the number of calls or the type of calls when you're going to Pleasant Meadows?
Pleasant Meadows has slowed down quite a bit, so in that respect, yes. The type of calls, no, it's the same stuff.
I guess I'll go on record. I want to give a kudos to Jeremy. Buying the auto pulse mechanical CPR, definitely represents a significant financial investment, but it's definitely for the patient's best interest. So, I'll give a kudos to him for making that investment.
Well, thank you both for being here.
Yeah,
If you
thanks
need
for coming down.
Yeah, if you need to scoot, that's fine. If you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to.
All right, get up here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Take care. We're still expecting Amanda, or?
No,
Okay.
but I can talk about it.
Why don't you?
Okay. Amanda Minor and I have been talking back and forth, and the frustration has been finding the not-for-profit to sign with them. And she just texted me yesterday that she and the Reeves are meeting with the Hopes and Dreams folks, the board, at 7:30 on Wednesday morning, and that may be who ends up being their partner on this. So that's at 7:30 Wednesday morning, and they hope then that they can come to the board meeting and speak during the public comment, or whenever they get there. So,
The reason I asked, because Amanda was originally planning to be here, correct?
Right.
And we've been trying to find a sponsor. And hopefully this will do the trick.
she's super committed, and so are the Reeds, and she said, because I don't know them, but she said they're very passionate about this.
And that would encompass not just Shiloh and Kansas, but then,
But Paris, right, so Shiloh and Kansas would still be, she'd be administering part of it through Douglas, and we did discuss our other thought. And, so she's looking at Paris, because apparently Chrisman is still not interested.
okay, but they've had the
They
opportunity.
have had the opportunity.
Have you talked to the Reeds? I talked to them last week.
No, I've just been
They
leaving that to
accepted, they
me.
just didn't wanna have to put out a bunch of money like they thought they were gonna have to do last year, so that's what he
And
said, so.
one of the emails between Amanda and me was, the person who's in charge of the workforce development funds for high schoolers. And so hopefully she'll be able to talk to us about that as well. And then I emailed that person, because it wasn't just for this, it was just the opportunity for some funding for whomever would want to hire youth. And so I asked her to please share it with the other 3 high schools, because, gotta remember them. So whether or not they do something with it, again, I feel like, well, we've done our part, we told you the money was there, we gave you the contact. So that's all I have for today on that topic.
Since Jeff and Ralph Nagel, I assume you all remember Ralph?
Hard to forget this face.
I was. We were trying to arrange a visit over to the new jail in Vigo County. And Jeff was kind enough to say he'd shoot out here and maybe we can get something set up for those board members that wanna come. And I mentioned Jay and Jeff and probably Derek would like to come over and see the jail, so what do you got, Jeff?
I think I got guys out all this week, but after probably next week, or probably the week of the 25th on probably would work for us.
Is it gonna be too late by then?
No, so the sheriff's already started moving their
I knew it
stuff
was
in
going
on
to,
the administrative side. We're probably gonna have inmates probably around the 1st of June. So ideally, we'd get you in there before then. Other thing, Sheriff, if it would help you to have maybe a separate tour with the sheriff and or his jail commander, I mean.
Because I was in there back last summer with the jail commander on one of the early stages.
Yeah.
And then I talked to him, I was over there 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he's gonna set something up, and it never happens.
Well, I went through, it'd be 2 weeks ago Friday, and then they're putting the spit shine.
Because I knew, that's what he said, at the end of this month, they aim to be kind of moving in, and of course, I wanted to go early because I wanted to get kind of behind the doors and, you know, when they were wiring and putting the cell blocks up and stuff, kind of get an idea how all that, everything fit together, and so just kind of see the progress from
Understood.
then to now, so.
Well, I just checked too, you know, we're remodeling and adding on to the one over in Vermilion County, north of Clinton, right now. And that would be available, and, you know, I haven't been here since the first year, but, in the last 4 weeks, we have bid, Knox County and Vincennes, and Sullivan County in Sullivan, Indiana. Sullivan was awarded last Monday night, and Knox County's gonna be awarded next Tuesday night. But the costs it really went up. I remember the first number y'all heard from your architect study was somewhere around $425 a foot.
I was 500 and some
Yeah.
dollars.
You know, oh no. No, it's north of 6 on both jobs. And the supply chain, is ugly, so, and I don't mean to scare you off, but you just, if you're thinking, hey, it's $400 a foot, it's not. And we don't see any indication it's going back ever so.
You say the Sullivan is already bid, or they opened the bid?
It's bid,
Okay.
in budget, which, you know, when we turn in our budget estimates before the bid, I mean, we think they're crazy. But that's where it's at, and the council voted last Monday night, and gave us notice to proceed, sign contract.
And they're moving out to the north end of town, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
they're by Pig Implement,
Yeah.
real good side.
It's around 600, you say?
That one's just north of 600 a foot,
Yeah.
Knox County was more.
How big is Knox County building, bed-wise?
So it's confusing because they're renovating the existing jail, adding on,
Okay.
a 200 bed pod, and they're adding community corrections across the parking lot. So that's a bad one to look at if you got standalone.
For a comparison or something, yeah.
Yeah, Sullivan would be a better one, and again, I mean, it's a moving target every day with the numbers.
Yeah, I think we were at 575 on, wasn't it 575?
Something.
Was it?
Pretty close to that 5.
That was on the jail portion,
Right.
and the other part, I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what the average, you know, when you.
No, I
Well, I know I'm not telling you anything that's a surprise, the numbers are,
don't. It's not getting any better.
no, sir. But if you want, I'll give you my cell phone number, you tell me when it's convenient for you,
Okay.
and we'll make it work.
Well, we should be,
I mean, if everybody wants to, I know the 28th is out.
So the 26th or 27th, Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday work for me pretty good.
Wednesday's fun for me. How about you guys? And yeah,
Do you wanna do it earlier of the morning, or mid-morning, right after lunch?
Whatever works for everybody else.
So you're looking at the,
It's-
which
it-
day, April what?
27th?
27th, Wednesday?
Wednesday the 27th.
I would tell you that, let me reach out, see if I get the
Yeah,
sheriff.
I guess, actually, let's see, this is the 11th today, so next week would work out too for me as far as that goes. Yeah.
I
yeah,
can't
next week.
on the 20th.
I can't either. Did that, you don't.
I can do the 19th or the 21st, but I can't do the 20th.
What time of the day we looking at?
Well, that's what we were talking about.
I would tell you normally to pull those people together, normally before the middle of the day is better, cause when things go bad, it's toward the afternoon, and that's when they start fighting fires, so.
So you thinking 9 o'clock Indiana time
Or,
or 10 o'clock?
no, I'm just saying probably before lunchtime your time, and,
Yeah, I mean, it's probably gonna be a 2-hour tour to get through all that, so
So it'd be 10 o'clock their time, 9 our time.
that'd work.
Yeah, that's fine.
so did we set on the 19th or the 21st?
Yeah, let's go with the 21st. That'll work for everybody else.
Alright, so that's 10 o'clock Indiana time
Yes,
and 9 o'clock your time.
and Augie, you're getting this down so you can get it.
Yeah, now we've bounced around from 27 to 20 to 21, so what day are we doing?
21st,
21st,
Thursday.
thank you,
9 o'clock.
Thank
On
you.
my time.
got it.
I'll get you a one-page sheet that says, here's the size of the building, here's the number of the beds, here's what it cost. But just, I want to warn you, be careful with it, because what it cost 2 years ago when they bid that, it ain't what it costs today, so.
You get us kind of a cheat sheet there.
Yeah.
It sounds good, man. Thank you.
Anything else
I
I can
realize
do
we're
over here?
5 times the size of ours.
While you're here, Sheriff, well, does anybody else have any questions?
So that was okay behind Honey Creek, is that where it's at?
Have you seen the steel cells that they're using everywhere,
Yeah,
the ones that come in?
prefabs.
Yeah. There's a video, actually a couple on our website that shows how they come in and they pick them right off of the semi, set them in place and basically plug them in and they're
And I went to a meeting 2 or 3 years ago up in Bloomington with, the company that, out in Annapolis,
Poly jail.
Poly, they put on a thing. We went up to Bloomington jail and kind of toured them, but they were a little farther along, so we didn't that's why I wanted to go see them.
Yeah, when you can get in behind that, you know, in that chase and see how it all plugs together, it's,
They just all snap together and
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I encourage everybody that can be there, it'd be good for us.
I know when I was at Terre Haute at that time, of course, they got, like we're looking at, the central command to watch all the jails. Well, they didn't, I mean, they had the room there and that was it, they didn't have any controls or.
Do you, if you end up with a two-story, would you prefer to have that central command on the second story looking down at everybody? Because Terre Haute's not like that.
See, I mean, we'll have that mezzanine level in the cell, but not actually the second floor.
Yeah,
So they'll just have where you can sit here and you can look.
yeah. Well, that's the way the Vigo is.
Right. That's what I well, that's what it looked like when I was there that day.
Well, they were just setting up all the command and control computers. It'd be really great if they're online, they could demonstrate it, because you can literally sit in that one room and go in and turn off the water faucet in any cell. Okay, if somebody starts playing games like they're flushing the toilet a bunch of times, shut that off. And, it lights everything. So, Sheriff, I'll leave my phone number for you, but
Okay.
I'll just send a confirmation to Jeff and
Then I'll make sure if Augie gets it and we get communicated with. Okay?
yeah, my cell phone
All
number
right.
is the best way to reach me, and I appreciate you giving me a minute. If you need anything else, call me. Otherwise, we'll probably see you here in a couple weeks, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you think it makes sense to have your architect come through? You know, think about that. We might want to see what's going on in Indiana, so.
All right.
We'll check with him.
Okay.
It's
Well,
pretty- that's
they're
pretty
all
short
welcome, or
notice.
Bethany, or whoever, you know, whoever you think makes sense. Just-
So yeah, from, maybe Coles County, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
When you're done there, Jeff, since you're here, do you wanna
Go ahead.
talk about the jail? Our current jail?
Well, currently, things are not going as planned.
Like to do, right?
You know, a month ago, we were looking at maybe 30 days, having things together, and kind of like he talked about, the supply chain is terrible right now. So, you know, when we talked earlier last week, electrician's supposed to be there today, they're not there. There's supposed to be 2 sets of people there today to work, and as of the time I left, nobody's there. Plumbers did show up Friday, the shower's in. Of course, we talked about the window, that's kind of still looking, trying to figure that out, so right now, we're just kind of at their mercy.
You know, last week it was an issue with the light fixtures.
Right,
That's the ones they used on the other parts of the cell blocks.
They couldn't get.
They couldn't get, and when we had our meeting Thursday, they called and said they'd found some, but they were gonna hopefully be here this week to start.
They kind of talked Monday, and like I say, the plumbers told me somebody else was supposed to be here today, and as of yet,
All right.
nobody was there. But the plumbing is all in. Of course, without electricity, we don't know whether it works or not yet, so they're gonna have to come back and, once the electricians get done. That's pretty much it right now. I mean, we're at their mercy. You know, our numbers are down right now, so that's a good thing, so. DOC's opened back up and kind of we're on a regular schedule now, so. That's been a blessing.
Then we're we're short one dispatcher currently, but.
Currently, yeah.
But you've got something in the works, you think you've got someone hired to replace that person? For the most part, I think that's all we really discussed, you know, the other day at their meeting.
Okay, appreciate it, Jeff,
Okay.
thanks for coming out.
And we said that's 9 o'clock, right?
9 o'clock our time. Augie, you'll put out something that just confirms all this?
Yes.
And then Ralph will get back to both of us and let us know, Jeff, okay?
Yep.
We'll have a study session on the 18th, so we can, if something changes, and we can, maybe 18th, everybody will know who can and who can't make it to the meeting on the, sure, on the 21st.
But yeah, it's right there off First Street, like you're going into Honey Creek Square and behind that little gas station, and you gotta go by the, I mean, they're right by the sewer plant, so you drive right by the sewer plant to get there.
Our study session is until the 25th.
25th, Carl.
Um,
Tell me again how to get there.
that's-
Say that again, would you, Jeff?
Go in on First Street,
Okay,
so you go underneath the viaduct there, 70,
yep,
and that stoplight where that gas station is, car wash,
yep,
turn left there like you're going in the backside of Honey Creek Square,
okay,
and you just turn, you go maybe 100 yards, and the road is there, goes back to the sewer. You drive past the sewer plant to get to it,
Back to the south.
to the south.
okay.
Well, maybe we can carpool.
Get to the driveway and follow your nose.
Gary, did you wanna go?
It'd be interesting, but I don't think I can get away.
Well, if you can,
I appreciate the invitation, thank you.
I mean, you're obviously, I mean, it's not like we can keep you from going, I mean, okay? We just wanna let you know
I mean,
you're
it's-
certainly welcome.
It's gonna be an awesome place. I mean, they've got full medical facility, pharmacy, dental. It's
Of
quite
course, they're, what is it, 200-300?
500 beds.
Okay, so I mean, it's a small,
And it's already,
small
already
town.
designed for expansion, so.
500 beds.
Well,
But in Indiana, they've got a thing now in Indiana, which I see it happen in Illinois one of these days, that
right,
inmates serving a year sentence or less, the county houses them. But I think over there it's like $100 a day per person. So they're intending to house 100 inmates for the state of Indiana at all times. So, you know, they're looking at 100 inmates at $100 a day,
Indiana's is so big.
which is also the reason Vermilion County, Indiana is expanding, I don't know,
That's the reason all of them are having to expand.
Right. You know,
Because in other words, they're not sending them to.
yeah, all the short-termers are, but like, I mean, if Vigo County's got a problem persons they don't get along with, they can send them to Terre Haute. I mean, you can send them any place if you don't have your own facility, but they're all, you know, looking at it, you know, it's a business now over there.
In Indiana, like Vermilion County, Clay County, Vigo County, Sullivan, Knox, they're all expanding right now. They're every one of them.
See, I'm not sure Sullivan is going a whole lot bigger than what they were.
Really.
Now, you talked about Knox County, which I didn't know Knox County was expanding, but I know Sullivan County's not getting a whole lot bigger than what they were.
Just building a whole new facility.
Yeah.
for
And I
some
didn't,
size.
their facility is right off the square in
Right.
Sullivan, but I didn't realize, I guess there's some issues from the last construction that's causing them a lot of problems, so.
We took a tour of that facility 20 years ago when we were doing 911. I remember going through that facility down in Sullivan.
okay, well,
All righty.
thanks, man, I appreciate you coming out.
That's interesting, you say you look for Illinois to possibly go that same route?
I can see down with DOC and stuff anymore, I can see DOC things changing.
So the state will pay you sometime?
We're still fighting over the people we've already held for.
Oh,
And that's why I want to do like we're doing now, $35 a day per person.
yeah.
Like I say, I'm pretty sure it's like $100 a day in Indiana.
Something you'll keep in mind then, isn't it?
Okay, anybody else have any questions of Jeff or general discussion of the situation? Lisa, do you wanna talk about the salary resolution?
Yeah, Augie and I have talked quite a bit about that. If you pull out your salary resolution, remember you had homework from last month. And so, in the meantime, I had had some further communication because we'd had some questions. So I had communication with Bruce from Bellwether, and Augie had information and suggestions as well. So if you're looking at the salary resolution, the first part of it cleans it up, adds what's required. The big difference from the one that I was using that Augie had provided from 2018 was that we have to include the state of Illinois stipend information. So there are 3 paragraphs on that. And the other thing is, going back to the second paragraph from the top, is that the terms are not on the same day for some strange reason. So we clarified that the clerk and recorder, treasurer, and sheriff, their terms begin December 1st, whereas ours begin December 5th. And then going down and taking a look at the tables section where, based upon our conversation, which this is not in stone, we're still in conversation, if we went with the 3% raise, then this is annually, which is basically the same as the cost of living, the consumer price index increase averaged over the last 10 years, and this 2021 could be, or 2022 also, could be throwing that average off because we've had such bizarre inflation. But if you discount that, then it's been roughly 3%. So Bruce's advice was to, plus it would also, it wasn't real clear that you could tie it to CPI. His advice was to stick with the straight 3%. So that's what this looks like for the county clerk and recorder, the treasurer, and the sheriff. So that's one thing that we need to determine. Are we going to stick with the 3% as our increase each year? And then the other part is how we wanted to deal with the county board members and the county board chairman, and how we wanted to configure that salary, and if we wanted to stick with a salary like you have now, plus a per meeting or a per diem. And Bruce and I talked about that quite a bit. And I will share with you, let me find his email, it's just easier to read it. I asked him to clarify on how to handle the county board chair salary versus county board members. And he cites a statute that states that the county board may set the chairman's additional pay. It does not specify an amount. In our conversation, I meant to convey that 1.5 times the county board member's salary is common in Illinois. Smaller counties are not required to follow that. Additionally, I mentioned that we are promoting counties to take an annual approach to compensation with regular monthly payments. We determine this amount by summing the numbers of meetings per year and multiplying by the per meeting rate, then dividing the total by 12. Members who do not attend meetings would report that to the clerk, who would reduce the payment. In our opinion, this is the easiest method to manage compensation. So what he's saying is that we would do a study to find out the average number of meetings and build that into salary. And then if you attended less than the average, then you would be reporting that and it would be deducted, as opposed to the way we do it now, having a base and then getting paid in addition per number of meetings. The personal opinion here, if you followed what he is saying, then those who attend more meetings would end up on the short stick, and those who attend fewer meetings are still gonna have to report that they didn't attend meetings, and that would be deducted.
That was his, that was his suggestion. I guess I could see a situation where someone just forgot, didn't deduct a meeting, and then be responsible.
Sounds like it's too difficult.
Yeah, to me,
That's how I feel too.
that's what I think.
I think the current method, you know, if you're okay with it and Don's okay with it, I think it works fine now.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have a base, and then if you attend a meeting, then you're
You just-
compensated for
right,
meeting.
Just add to it. That way, at least it's an intentional thing
Right.
versus an unintentional
Right.
consequence of something that happens to you without you,
Maybe you posted
with, just because of inattentiveness or whatever,
Mhm.
so.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
haven't posted anything yet, though.
again, this is just numbers on paper, it is not anything final, nor am I suggesting that it is. County board member salary at $1,500 a year. And of course, that affects all of us, because we're all on the same, we're all up for election. County board chairman, if you took it at 1.5, it's $2,250 a year.
Okay.
And bumping, the per meeting compensation at $50 a meeting, up from 35. So, there are actually three different conversations that we need to have. One is our other elected officials, the other is county board member and county board chairman, or you put those separately, and the other is per meeting compensation. So, let's take a look at, do you believe that 3% is a valid amount? And remember, what I'm starting at for the base, I guess that's really a conversation too. The base is, when I did the study of 5 similar counties who turned in their information, the base rate here put us right around the mean, the center of those other 5 counties. So we wouldn't be paying the least, we wouldn't be paying the most.
So like, for instance, the county clerk, you got at 60,000, that's taken into consideration the average. So we basically moved it up like 4,000 or 5,000 over their current salary.
Right.
And then from there, we go 3% every year after that.
Yes. The average, I do remember that one, the average is 59,000. So it's very, very comparable.
They said the 3%, you went back how many years to see if that was an average?
10.
Okay. No, last year it was 5% or 6%. Year before that was only 1.1%,
Right.
something like that. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And it
That
was
sounds
pretty
good.
stable before.
Yeah, I'm not
this last
against
year.
it. No.
Okay, so we believe that the starting point is appropriate, and we believe that 3% is appropriate. Okay. All right. Then looking at county salary, 1,500. Are you okay with that? We're not here to make money.
No.
Okay. And then county board chairman then being 1.5.
That's kind of low for Jeff, as much work as he does. He should be double that.
But he also.
Well, and taking a look,
I know, but.
yeah, but we're not looking at Jeff, and I
Right,
don't
I
have the
understand that.
history of previous county board
Right.
chairs. And I am assuming they all put a lot of effort into their role.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, I know that it's an increase over currently, because currently his was just like $5,
Yeah.
$5 a month more. I mean,
10.
$10 a month
Right,
more.
right, right.
But there again, you know, if the extra work, going to all these different meetings, he gets compensated, he will get compensated for that.
That's a lot of
Also.
work he does, he doesn't
Right.
charge too.
Well,
Right, the phone
Everybody
calls
does
and all
that.
I
yeah.
know, I
You know.
understand that.
Well, some of us do.
So I guess if, doing it at 1.5 times a county board member's salary is a recognition that the county board chair does significantly more. it's not really compensation, it's a recognition.
Are you
And-
satisfied with that? That's not an answer.
I'm fine with everything. It's fine.
Okay,
No, I am. I mean,
Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me.
you get what you pay for.
Yeah, well,
well, then we're off, okay.
let's go down to zero then.
And then,
No,
is-
Phil, it is satisfactory, and we
Okay,
don't wanna quibble about a few bucks here and there. We're not,
Right.
we're all in this for public service more than we're in there.
To make it
Yes, but you know, everybody wants to be at least compensated for a little bit of their time that they pull away from other things, but other than that, it's fine. And I enjoy doing it,
Yeah.
okay?
Same
I don't know
here.
what the next chairman will be like, but I enjoy doing it.
At my age, I thought there was an age limit, so for me to check on.
and then as far as the per meeting compensation, that's changing it from 35 to 50. We had talked, Bruce and I talked at length about per diem versus per meeting. And not that any of us would be unethical, but if you stick with the per meeting, I know for myself, if I have that option, I'm gonna have more than one meeting a day, so I can just really focus on county board, especially with having to travel. And if you do it per diem, there is that opportunity to spread your meetings out on different days. So, my thinking is keeping it per meeting is, more reflective of how we do it and how it should be done.
We were talking about per day, so if you have 3 meetings in one day, you only get $50, but that's not correct, right?
If it was per diem, that would be correct.
That's what
So you would
I'm
make your
wondering.
per diem, theoretically, you'd make your per diem more than a per meeting.
Right,
The other thing we need to look at is like, if you're in town, I mean, if you're gonna separate days, then you can put in for other expenses, you know, like travel expenses. And if you're in town and you can combine your meetings, it saves on travel.
yeah.
I know
So,
some days, I mean, we've had, like on a Monday, we've had a spatial meeting. You have a county highway meeting, then you have a study session.
I just count it as one
I
meeting.
count it as one meeting.
Yeah.
And of course, in the 12 years I've been on here, I've never turned in a dime for mileage. I've never done. But I mean, I'm 10 mile away, but I mean, you're what, 20 mile away?
30.
30 mile away, you know, but
Oh, each of us can still do what we wanna do.
that's right,
We just simply can't exceed what
exactly,
it says on this for
right,
for two years. Now it's 2-year term.
2 years.
Yeah,
For the,
this can be changed
right,
every 2 years
for
for
3 of the board
those that are
members.
coming up for election,
right.
so. It's,
And Augie pointed out the last column, or the last paragraph on here is making sure that we keep it in writing that travel expenses are according to the travel reimbursement resolution, which is tied to state legislation, rather than saying the federal rate.
well, also, say like if we have somebody that's gonna go for training somewhere, we have to be very particular, and they happen to be an elected official. If we don't have that identified as part, then they couldn't be reimbursed for actual travel expenses, okay?
What's the current rate?
58.5.
How much?
58.5. It was just raised from 56, right?
Yes.
Is that 50 cents? I thought it was always 50 cents.
IRS varies it all. The state goes by their metrics, and usually it's the feds.
And so Augie also then on the second page made sure that we dotted our i's and crossed our t's on those last 2 paragraphs.
We don't have to decide about this now. I mean, I think we need to review it and discuss it, and then it'll be up on the agenda on Wednesday. And if you're ready, we could always push it off, but we figured that we were pretty close right now, and so if that's acceptable.
If we don't do it Wednesday, then it has to be done in May. That's, if we don't, May's, I mean, it could be pushed off,
Could we?
but
Why do I wait?
everything looks good to me. I don't have a
Which
problem
fine to
with it.
me, I'm
I have to
satisfied.
be done, what, so many days
180 days
before the,
before
Before
you
you
take
take
office. I had said before the election, and I was wrong. So it is actually taking office, but, and that would put it in May, but,
Yeah, it has to be
We
done
usually do
before
it
June
May
1st.
okay,
yeah.
That's the,
At least on this last paragraph, like opting out, does they get, what is it, there's a stipend?
Is that on the,
A stipend they give them if you opt out the insurance? Okay. I just
that
wondered.
first paragraph on the second page?
Yes,
Someone else can answer that better than I.
Yes,
Yes.
okay. So it does need to be put in here,
no, that's the opt-out.
okay. Just wondered.
No, it's fine.
So am I correct then that 2 years from now, when we include the circuit clerk, coroner, we include the state's
state's
attorney?
attorney.
Even though the state's attorney, that's a salary that's
That's
determined
already,
otherwise.
that's set.
But it has to be on here?
It always has.
Oh,
It
that
always
shows
has
the-
been,
Yes.
just to make
Okay.
sure.
All right, so the circuit clerk then would start in 2024 with this same salary, or that is a conversation to, it would be like the 2024 that we have on here.
It gives us the option.
Okay, all right,
Currently, I think the circuit clerk is slightly under the county clerk and treasurer.
Right.
And it's close, but her salary is slightly currently.
Yeah.
okay, all right. So that'll be a whole new conversation in 2024. It doesn't necessarily follow this exactly. Okay,
Well, for those who have an elected four-year term, that'll be solid.
Right.
It'd be for the ones that are elected in '24.
right, so in 2024, we truly have a new conversation.
Correct.
Okay.
For 3 county board members.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them with 3-year terms, 2-year terms.
2 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Do you have anything else to report?
Yes, I do.
Uh-oh.
I attended, and I'm not even gonna try to say all the initials, but the Regional Economic Development meeting, this was the first, and it was down in Effingham on the 24th. It was the first, like a reorganization meeting, since they hadn't gotten together for a couple of years. And it was basically coordinated by Tiffany Mackey, who is the Community and Economic Development Educator for the Extension Service for these 3 counties. And she's been doing this for a long time, and she does a great job. So it was a brainstorming session, very extension-y. And, it was just trying to establish a baseline and see where we are and what our concerns are, and where we would go with trying to formulate a plan. And the importance of having a regional economic development group like this is that is what is necessary to apply for federal funding for a regional plan. So it is necessary if we're going to go that way. But of course, when we brainstorm, we all have the same problems. And trying to get down to the root of things, talking about economic development requires a workforce in place, which requires schools to be producing what we need. It requires a strong and healthy community. So that's what we all need. And so we didn't set another meeting, but there will be other meetings. There was not anybody else from Edgar County. Clark had probably 7 or 8 people there out of 15 people in attendance. But they are very focused on economic development, and they have some really good structure for that. So,
You said Clark had it?
Clark did, and I knew most of them. So there will be more meetings, and when those meetings are set, I'll probably reach out and make sure somebody from the chamber goes and somebody from the city. So it didn't,
Petco, do they normally have someone go?
well, they were kind of surprised that nobody was there from Pedco, and Tiffany did have the right list, so. And those, let's see, summer meal program, economic development, and salary, yep, those are the three things I've been working on. So I'm done.
Any further questions of Lisa?
Yeah, I had a question earlier when you were talking about the food program. You mentioned the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
Are they involved in this? I know in the past they were, the workforce provided people, and, that's where we ran into the problem last time, where the Champaign County workforce provided up there, but we're in the area of Effingham, and they didn't.
I don't believe that is the problem this time around. And again, you could talk to Amanda more to that.
Okay. Well,
It's that the funding is available, it's a matter of getting it. That it is not, I know what you're saying, that it is not tied to Champaign County. This looked like it was a state program.
Okay, well, I know when she was here before, or maybe you mentioned it, that, it wasn't an option of delivering foods like we had in the past, they just went
Right, that was a state, this was a state guideline or requirement.
But can we somehow
Deliver.
get it delivered?
Only to those designated locations.
And why? Because the state says if you're in this program, you can't deliver it
Correct.
We
to
can't
that
deliver it to
the,
homes.
Absolutely. But
Well,
they designed it for
That's-
larger communities.
yeah, where safety
Chicago,
would be an issue.
Peoria. Now, they do have places already picked out that say that they can be the centers for pickups, okay?
Yeah,
But it's, it's not gonna be as effective. People are not gonna,
right.
Yeah. And the other thing that Amanda said was they were going to use Memorial, I believe it was. They were going to use Memorial as their site, but Memorial will be undergoing its maintenance and such programs and activities in July, so they're going to have to find another spot.
Well, I could see there's gonna be a lot of waste, delivered,
Yeah.
and then people won't come pick it up, and it's gonna go, it's crazy.
They won't come pick it up.
I'm curious, where does the mandate come that says you can't deliver it?
First grant.
the new state regs by the bureaucrats.
It's a regulation by the state, administered by.
Right.
Administered by which office? Illinois
I don't
Department of
know.
Public Health?
The State Board of Education provides the money.
That's right.
State Board of Education?
Through money that they get from, US Department of Ag is my understanding how the money flows.
So do they partner with federal? Then some sort of a federal
It is
state?
federal money that comes to the State Board of Education to do this summer feeding program.
Okay.
That's how I understand it.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out who you go to say, you're gonna, just like Carl said, you're gonna have a lot of waste.
Yes.
The problem we've got is that at this late date, the thing's gonna start in a little over a month from now.
Right.
And you're not gonna, we kind of opted that we need to figure out how to make it work the best we could. And it may not even get funded next year.
True.
Okay, that's all I had.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Phil? Carl?
Nothing.
Russ? Dan?
Talked to Amanda last week, not Amanda, Andrew. She said she got a new program that's gonna really make the job a lot easier at the animal shelter, so. I think it's $350 a year or something like that, but she says it's really gonna make a difference. Got a text from Janet, Health Department. She wants to set up a meeting Wednesday at noon to nominate a person to put on the board. nobody can make it, so. So that's not gonna
Well,
work.
I think we would like to say through you, they don't have to do that, just give us the name, I've tried to explain that to them.
Yeah.
They do not have to approve that name. Now, if you want me to call Ollie or
Yeah,
something else, I can do that, but am I standing alone on this deal? I mean, if they've got somebody that they probably already talked to,
They don't need our
they need our approval.
approval, but.
Yeah.
Right, we have to approve it,
Right.
but
But
they
it's
don't need.
mostly gonna be a rubber stamp if that's who they want.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
I
saying?
mean,
Yeah.
We don't have to do that every time, they can submit whoever they
well,
want.
it's an HRC person, so.
Well, and I think we all knew that there was an opportunity to get somebody from mental health,
Right,
and I think nobody has an issue about that. But we need to get some people on that, like you had a meeting, what, 2 weeks ago?
yeah,
And you didn't have a quorum,
no, we
and,
wouldn't have a quorum now, we wouldn't have a quorum Wednesday, only two of us can show up.
And it's time to move and get some people.
That's it, I should have done a long time ago.
yeah, should I call Janet or Ollie?
Well, isn't that kinda up to us, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I don't have, they
Yeah,
won't give
they-
me the name of the person. Do you have a
Probably
name?
Janet. I don't know the name. They
I
said
mean-
HRC person, that's all they said.
I'd call her.
They had six names.
Call her and say, hey, who is it? We, you know, we need
Yeah,
to move on this.
They had
See,
six
we could have
names.
got it, I called them over 5 weeks ago, telling them that we needed a name, and Ollie, at that point, had said, well, we'll get it to you, so you can act on it in April. Well, pardon me. That's
I
not
assume
gonna
Ollie
happen.
knows who they're talking about, and
I don't know. He missed the last one, he's been sick, so.
Well, I'll see what I can do, but, I mean,
one or both of them,
Yeah,
get something going. I mean,
And-
it's too late for this meeting.
yep,
it's been a year since they had the vacancy, over a year
Yeah.
since they had the vacancy.
Need to have something in place for May.
yep.
They probably gonna have two vacancies, so.
But have they,
Well,
has the second one?
Well,
Yeah,
I gotta
that's,
wait on that.
right.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
yes,
I-
but I think we have somebody for that.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Well, good thing about the one for Christmas and the plumber, no.
Why?
What I heard, he doesn't want the job, or doesn't want to
Well,
do
who
it.
told you that? Cause I had breakfast with him this morning.
Uh,
Okay?
who?
That's somebody else saying they don't wanna go up.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
you can't, and I wouldn't discuss it at all with some folks, I mean, it
I
just,
know, I mean,
Who do you say, who'd you,
some guy named Wolf, I think's the one that they
is
mentioned.
that the one you got?
well, that or there's another person,
I know,
I
do I
do.
know the other person? I
Yeah.
assume I do.
yeah, he's a little garbage man.
It's kind of a mess. Nobody wants to do anything.
Well, if they don't, we can
Yeah,
move
we
on
can
with
just
that
go
one.
ahead and, yeah, we don't,
The guy that I talked to.
It would be in their best interest to
wanted it
respond in a timely manner, or we will do
well,
it for
yeah,
them.
but
It's been over a year.
we've been
since they-
But we
advised
don't
by
wanna
the
do
city
There's
that.
some
attorney,
conflict between him and others on the board or something.
that would shake things up.
Oh, yeah. He wouldn't be a shrinking violet.
Well, we don't wanna put a shrinking violet on that board.
You know what that is, I'll explain that.
Andy?
Hey, I'm kinda old too
Mainly-
these days, so I know.
Trying to keep,
It struck home
I
that.
have never been called one either.
keep up on Sycamore good stuff at the jail, but, I just, we read his, or a text that he sent me, and he said he expected was hoping that the fixtures would be here today, so, not show up at the jail, but
Right.
hopefully they'd show up in his, at Sycamore today, so I'll kinda keep with him.
I'm sure they're doing the best they can.
Yeah, it's a kind of a nightmare out there trying to get, you order some stuff comes in, some stuff just doesn't now.
But they know that we want it,
Yeah,
it's
they.
a priority to get this done.
And he said, I apologize, he goes, it's just a nightmare trying to get, stuff to do jobs right now, he said, so,
I believe it.
Okay, well, I don't have anything else this morning. We do need to go into closed
I thought it
session
was-
for personnel. Do we have any other issue that we need to go into closed session? Yes, sir.
Well, that's kinda stupid, but I think I told you about the guy called me about closing the road through Brockton on June the 4th. He said it couldn't be done, so,
I've already turned that over to the folks.
okay.
They were gonna handle that.
He doesn't even live up there, so.
Yeah, I didn't, in fact, I made that call, and they were gonna reach out to actually the mayor
Okay,
and find out what he had in mind,
okay.
and let him know what was possible and what was not.
I'll see the guy on Thursday, so. I'll
There's
tell
a
him.
state, or a county route that goes right through Brockton, and of course, every year, they close, like Christmas, they close off some of the routes for 2 hours, 3 hours.
Right.
Dan brought me, information for the gentleman who called him and said that they wanted to close it off for about 24 hours. And I don't know anything beyond that. I called up Dirk and Aaron, and since it's or county road, and gave them the information on who to call and so forth, so that's all I know. That, we should have brought that up at, Aaron when he was in there.
Yeah, didn't think about it.
That's all right. Motion to go in exec session, or closed session. Andy moves, or for personnel. Russ seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We will go into exec session and if you.
Okay.
You want your back up? Anything else to come before the study session? Hearing none, a motion to adjourn. Andy moves, Phil seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you all. Good meeting.